1990s were Michael Jordan's decade in the NBA. While he was winning 6 titles with the Bulls, 29 other organizations missed out on championship glory. These are the stories of some of the teams that were relegated to footnotes on MJ's path to the top. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic, who went from ashy to classy to ashy again as quickly as any NBA team. The Magic joined the league in 1989 with the NBA seeing population boom in Florida and realizing it was time for the state to add pro sports outside of Miami. Their first 3 seasons went as they typically do for expansion franchises, at least until they get their first great draft pick. The Magic lost 64, 51, and 61 games in those seasons. The players who had the most win shares those years, Otis Smith, Scott Skiles, and Terry Catledge, respectively. When the Magic won the 1992 draft lottery, it meant a great draft pick was all but assured. Shaquille O'Neal came out of LSU billed as the next great big man in the NBA, and he was great the second he got to the league. He was the biggest human we'd ever seen play basketball, but still relatively slim and impossibly quick for his size. After winning 21 games in 91-92, the Magic went 41-41 the following season, barely missing the playoffs. Rookie Shaq was the first 20-year-old to average 20 points and 10 rebounds a game in a season.
Lob to the Shaq. Oh, he caught it! And somehow Courtney avoided the foul.
Then, another stroke of luck gave them the top pick in the 1993 draft, winning the lottery despite 1 in 66 odds. The Magic drafted Chris Webber, then traded him to the Warriors for Memphis State's Anthony Hardaway and 3 first-round picks. Penny was a 6'7" point guard who could dominate scoring or distributing, a triple-double threat every night. Just like that, Orlando had the next great big man and a player people thought was the next Magic Johnson. The Magic added those 2 superstars to a core that had its first 2 first-round draft picks, Nick Anderson and Dennis Scott. In 2 years, the Magic went from being one of the worst teams in the league to the most exciting. And from 92 to 95, they went from 24th in net rating to 3rd. The Magic's inaugural head coach was Matt Guokas, a 10-year vet as a player who'd had a run coaching the Sixers before he got to Orlando. After Shaq's rookie season, Guokas moved on and was replaced by Brian Hill. Shout out to everyone watching this who forgot who coached those teams. There is nothing interesting to say about those 2 in this section other than they used to coach the Orlando Magic. We could say the window opened the moment Shaq arrived, but things really got started when Hardaway became starting point guard during his rookie year, taking over for Skiles. The Magic won 50 games in 93-94, had home court advantage in the first round, and a chance to face Patrick Ewing and the Knicks in the second round, but the Pacers swept Orlando in 3 games. The following season, the Magic were a juggernaut. Orlando went 57-25, the best record in the East. Shaq averaged 29.3 points, 11.4 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks and finished second to David Robinson in MVP voting. Penny was first team All-NBA. New addition Horace Grant, he of 3 championships with the Bulls, averaged double figures, as did Anderson and Scott. 6 years after entering the NBA, the Magic ran through the Knicks, Bulls, and Pacers to make the 95 NBA Finals. The only franchise to reach the finals after expansion faster than Orlando was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's Milwaukee Bucks. Oh, and that's right. Of all the teams we've chronicled in this series, this is the one that can say it did something to Michael Jordan. In the 7 games the Magic and Bulls played in 95 with Jordan on the roster, the Magic won 5.
He's doing this against the premier defensive forward in basketball, Scottie Pippen.
No team after the 95 playoffs eliminated Michael Jordan in the postseason, but their window ran just 1 more season, with everything ending in 1996. All right, Shaq and Penny are easy answers, but you had to be there. Shaq was everywhere, a giant cartoon of a man who was beloved in his younger days. He didn't only break backboards like Daryl Dawkins did. He destroyed the structures of the baskets. The whole damn thing. Hardaway may never make the Hall of Fame, but he was that dude. Shaq and Penny were Shaq and Kobe before Shaq and Kobe. Penny was smooth and explosive, unstoppable off the dribble, and capable as a shooter. Just like he did in 95, he made first team All-NBA in 96. For his first 4 seasons, Penny was in the top 15 in total points, assists, and steals, joined only by Scottie Pippen and Gary Payton. Anderson and Scott came in the league with some name recognition, joining the Magic after playing for 2 of the most entertaining college teams ever, the Illinois Flying Illini of 1988 and Georgia Tech's Lethal Weapon 3 in 1990. Both were perfect complementary players for Shaq and Penny. Anderson was a more than capable secondary perimeter scorer. Scott? Well, everyone loves a hooper who clearly doesn't lift weights. As long as he's good, Scott can make it rain from 3. In the 3 years of Shaq and Penny, only the Rockets made more three-pointers than Orlando. This all came together just when the NBA needed someone to fill the void unexpectedly created by Jordan's first retirement, and the Magic were a consistent national television draw. And in the 2 seasons Jordan basically missed, the Magic led the league in road attendance. In the 96 season after Jordan's return, Orlando trailed only Chicago in road attendance. This really wasn't one of those teams. I imagine Shaq was easy to hate if your team's center was flailing, trying to find any way to stop him, only able to resort to hitting him as hard as he could, and Shaq barely feeling it.
Oh, my!
But everything about this team was so fresh. There weren't even many journeymen who you may have hated before and showed up to teach the young guys how to be hated too. They did sign John Koncak in 1995, a man known in Atlanta as John Contract for the robbery he pulled off on the Hawks on his 1988 deal. But don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay, there is that time in 1996 where Anthony Bowie grabbed a rebound with 3 seconds left in the game. The Magic were leading by 20, immediately called timeout, then called a play himself where he would inbound to a teammate who would score so he could record his 10th assist and get himself a triple-double. That was a little unseemly. And if you love the Celtics, you probably hated Tree Rollins because of that one time when he played for the Hawks and he tried to bite Danny Ainge's finger off. But come on, who among us has never? So this first one really doesn't have much to do with the Magic, but it was while Shaq still played for the Magic. 1996 All-Star Game in San Antonio. Shaq always said he held a grudge against David Robinson for not giving him an autograph when O'Neal was a high school star in San Antonio. Well, look what he did to the Admiral at the Alamo Dome.
Hill delivering to... Oh! And the foul!
Even Shaq, look! Even Shaq talking to the crowd, he knew that. Look at the East bench.
Dave, I want to say I apologize for making up that rumor. Love you, brother.
But there's also this, a play that Nick Anderson would tell his grandkids about. In Game 1 of the 95 East semis, Anderson did something people will swear to you never happened to Michael Jordan. There was no way in 1995 you didn't think the Magic could dominate the NBA for a decade. So, after Anderson stripped Jordan, he told reporters that number 45 doesn't explode like number 23 used to, which, of course, meant Jordan, who had been wearing the number 45 in his comeback season, went back to 23 for Game 2. He scored 38 points, double his Game 1 output, and the Bulls won. The Magic won that series, but you think Mike forgot that? Or that Mike didn't notice Horace Grant, a former Bulls teammate, that he kind of liked him? Anyway, you think Jordan enjoyed seeing Grant celebrating with his teammates in Chicago after the Magic vanquished the Bulls? The Bulls went 72-10 in 95-96, the most wins in NBA history at that time. In the East Finals, they met the Magic. Keep in mind the Magic won 60 games that season, and Shaq only played 54 games all year after a thumb injury. They lost one game between the 2 playoff rounds before they met the Bulls. Their ascent was on schedule, and then they got destroyed. The worst part might be that Mike didn't even do that much to him. He scored 21 in Game 1 and 17 in Game 3. But of course, the Bulls won those games by a combined 57 points. Then in Game 4, the Jordan you knew wasn't going to lose this series to these guys after what happened the year before showed up. 45 points, and the Magic were swept out of there. What did the Magic do to themselves? They got swept a lot. Perhaps the worst thing about this run for Orlando was, no matter how good the seasons were, they ended in the most embarrassing fashions. In '94, the Pacers squeaked out 2 close games in Orlando before beating the Magic by 13 in Indianapolis and ending the best-of-5 series. In '95, the Magic had a chance to put the Rockets away in the 4th quarter of Game 1 of the Finals. Then Nick Anderson, for what must have been the first time in his life, missed 4 free throws in a row late. Hakeem Olajuwon got a tip in, the Rockets won Game 1, then smoked the Magic in Game 2 and eventually hit them with the broom. You saw what happened in '96 when only Shaq and Penny averaged double figures for the series. And this trend of Shaq being swept continued after he left Orlando, as his teams were swept 6 times in his career. Oh, did I just say Shaq left Orlando? Yeah, that happened. At age 24, with a superstar beside him in Orlando and a team primed for success, Shaq signed with the Los Angeles Lakers as a free agent. Just why Shaq left has been litigated for almost 25 years, but the bottom line is the Magic couldn't keep him. And as good as Hardaway was, replacing Shaq was impossible. Without him, the Magic had no chance at a title. Then, making things worse, Penny suffered a devastating knee injury in '97, derailing his promising career. And that was that. It all happened so fast that it's easy to forget that after one matchup with the real Michael Jordan, not the one playing himself out of baseball shape, those Magic teams were done. We never got a true rematch or perennial matchups between these teams. We never saw a great Penny Hardaway again on the biggest stage. Damn, that just feels sad. Can we just end this with Shaq breakdancing or something?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.